Hi everyone, I'm Lindsey from Outbox. Welcome and thanks for joining us today. Quick housekeeping, if you've got any questions, just drop them in the Q&A and Elias and Celeste will keep an eye on them. I have the privilege of having Mailchimp presenting with me today, and Elias's presentation is going to follow mine on this recording, so please wait till the end to see all the slides from Mailchimp. Let's go. So welcome. It's not just for accountants, it's for bookkeepers, QuickBooks, Xero advisors, finance and tax professionals. I'm hoping that you'll all get something out of that. What I'm going to cover in the webinar: why use email marketing? And it's not just a standalone marketing, you've got other things that join with it. Why use Mailchimp or QuickBooks or Xero? How to use Mailchimp as part of your marketing. And I'm going to give you a year's worth of subject ideas so it saves you from that writer's block. That'll be a free download later. Power of automation, which I hope you're going to jump in and have a go at, and how to grow your audience list, and another free download to help with that. And then at the very end, so what follows on after you've got you started and got you going. So before we start, who am I to be telling you this? I'm Lindsey, Carroll of Outbox. I've been using Mailchimp for 15 years as a marketer. I'm a Mailchimp Pro partner. I'm fully certified in their partner program. I was the first in the world to get all of their 3 certifications. I created Outbox 20 years ago to offer virtual assistant services worldwide when I emigrated from London to New Zealand. It's quite some time before Apple, iCloud and COVID even got a look in. My background includes buying in the UK's largest department store chain, which encompassed budgeting, pricing, stock control, marketing, design, distribution. I also worked in their computer planning department, which is where my tech bent comes from, and helped them create the allocation system they're still using today. I also partnered with Xero in the very early days when I think there was only 3 of them in the office. I don't do that anymore. So I come from quite a financial and tech background. Nowadays, I'm a trusted partner for WordPress, which is a website software, and Mailchimp. I work with accountants, bookkeepers, small business owners, and those that want and need to market their business and keep their clients updated. I also run a fun TikTok and Insta channel at Lindsey Learns, so you can get to know the person behind the business. If you kayak or gym or love to travel, I'd love to see you there, and hopefully I can follow you too. So please ask any questions in the questions area. I'm hoping we will get to those at the end. Otherwise, flick me an email and I can help after the webinar. So why Mailchimp for accountants and bookkeepers? Well, you might have a lot of new sign-ups during tax season. You do work for them then, and what we want to do is not lose those clients after tax season and forget about them. Your accounting software already has that data in there about your clients, and they're expecting to hear from you. So we want to make use of that data. We want to onboard, nurture, and retain your clients using email marketing. So you've got a few pain points, I'm guessing. Your client data is sitting idle. So tax season ends and clients go quiet, not because they stop needing you, but because no one follows up. Email is the missing layer that turns your financial data into ongoing client relationships. Your manual onboarding that eats up those billable hours when you're really busy. Hopefully we can do some of that before that season, or just do it in the background so you don't need to keep coming back to it. It also hopefully catches those client follow-ups that fall through the cracks. And there's no time to think about marketing during that time and you're really busy, but this can be scheduled ahead of time. That's the power of Mailchimp. We want to stop that client churn once tax obligations are met. You don't want them going to the next networking meeting and signing up with the latest accountant who they met last week. You want to stay in front of them for the year and keep them, hopefully upsell to them during the year as well. So accounting firms already manage financial data in QuickBooks, Xero, MYOB. They lack the automation systems that convert that data into growth opportunities. So Mailchimp becomes the bridge between that financial data and the revenue expectation. So where does email fit into your marketing plan? Now, I could talk about this for a very long time. I call it something called circular marketing. Why do I call it circular marketing? It's a talk for another day, but your business needs to be unique as you are. So are you local? Are you global? Are you in a big city or a small rural community? Is it all in the cloud, or do you export for presentation for financial statements or corporate? Are you printing off and using print media? What budget do you have? There's a wide range of marketing that can be done. Everything leads to your website or a place to contact you. The website also leads to email sign up, etc., pop-ups. So it's a big wheel that keeps turning. Think of a blog post that you can use once on your website. You can resend it out on your email content. It sends them back to your website, helps with your SEO and your social media posts. So you let that all keep spinning enough times, that wheel, and sales will follow. So email marketing is just one part of that wheel, but a very, very important one. You own your own data list. You don't own your Instagram or your LinkedIn followers, and that's the big difference here. So as a marketer, I help clients understand the need for all-round approach to marketing. You use many channels to promote your brand, and email marketing is one of those tools to be used alongside other methods. So let's see how we can be using it. So you get a chance to have direct contact with your clients in their inbox. They're reading that inbox at a time that suits them. When they've got a little bit longer, they're not going to run off and look at the next reel on their social media. They're looking at their inbox. And even if they never open the email, they see your name. They keep reminding you you're there. That's a win in itself. So you've also got analysis when the reader opened your email and what they clicked on. You can start to learn and build your data as you send more and more. So this just leads also to opportunities to automate that process to send you time. You can use surveys and landing pages to also get more feedback and learn more about those clients. It's low cost and scalable compared to other marketing that you can think of, adverts, Google ads, things like that. It's a low risk to damaging what we call your email reputation if you use the Mailchimp platform. Again, email reputation is a whole nother subject. But if I can explain to you that it'd be very high risk if you were going to send out a bulk email directly from your standard email. And perhaps we could go into that more detail another time. So there's lots of integrations to help you work smarter, such as QuickBooks, Xero, website forms, calendar bookings, Canva if you like doing design, or you've got somebody in your practice that loves doing design, you can pull them straight through. CRM, social media, Spotify, and many, many others. So let's break it down a little bit. Testing, reporting, and automation. So you mentioned Elias, you heard Elias mention A/B testing. This is where you might put out two different emails and see which one works best. And you then maybe reuse the one that's best, or you change your email campaign the next time. That's something you can do within Mailchimp. Who opened your campaign? Which emails bounced, and more importantly, how they bounced. If their email has been cleaned and it doesn't accept anymore, it gives you an opportunity to ring them. And you're one of the very few industries who probably have their phone number and can contact them another way. So who's replied, who's clicked on links, it just directly helps your marketing, and you can channel your readers to your website, your landing page, or for you to contact them, which I think people often forget about that one. With yours, you know, the more you know your clients, that's a good in for you to give them a call. And my favorite one, looking at AI, is basically subject lines. So we'll just have a look at the next slide. So Mailchimp offers you a range of ways to use AI, depending on your plan. But this one I thought I would just show you because I think it really makes sense. If you're not used to using the platform yet, it just puts it right in front of you. So you would always have a subject line, which comes up on an email, and then you have a preview line. Particularly people on mobile will see the preview line as like the first part of the email. If you're looking on something like Outlook or Gmail, you see it alongside the title. So if you put something in, you then have a generative AI little box showing down there on little blue with a line around it, where you could put in, give me ideas. Now, where this makes it really different with Mailchimp, they've been sending billions of these for years. They've got a lot more knowledge than ChatGPT on this. So they will go off and generate those subject lines for you based on their background knowledge. So it's really worth playing around with this, and this will really help you get more people to actually open the email in the first place, which is ultimately what we're aiming at. So to get started, you're going to use Mailchimp to directly update and communicate with your clients and subscribers. You learn more about their interests and activities as you collect data. Then you can use the data to market further in a targeted way. You can create an email template to match your brand, quickly produce newsletters, information, and send outs. You can automate to make your life easier by using something called customer journeys, and you can tailor those to your needs. And you can ask for feedback. You're going to use integrations that link to easily to your audience. You do need permission to send to people, but accountancy clients are always keen to hear from you, and they've probably already given you that permission when they signed up with you in your contract. And there's always an unsub link for those not wanting to email anymore, and that's not always a bad thing. If people don't want it, then you don't have to send it to them. So templates. First of all, this is where you're going to start your newsletter. So there are a range of layouts already within Mailchimp. I like to build them out individually for clients so that you can match your brand, your website, your look, your feel, the buttons, fonts, your social media links, everything else that you can build out from there. It's drag and drop, which makes things very easy for you. You could link to your YouTube and video and embed them. You can even put Instagram posts now actually right within your newsletter. So that does two things. It gives you more followers and it reuses that content if you've already made that somewhere else. There's lots of things to take into account here, things like alt text for images. Some people do actually turn their images off, particularly if they're remote, I found, particularly in New Zealand. So they're going to be reading it as a text email. So you can set all that up, you can test it, you can preview it. Every email will come with an unsubscribe link, so you're covered legally. You can actually code templates as well, but my experience is they're more expensive. So keep it simple, reduce costs. Unless you're in New Zealand or something, you've got a team of 14 creating these for you. Why make life difficult? So we can do all of that for you as well. And hopefully soon I'll put some courses up so that you can be doing them totally in-house if you like. So customer journeys, I mentioned earlier. Let's just play a little bit of this video for you. So customer journeys and automations allow you to set up email in advance and use them again and again and again. Very little maintenance. So they're particularly good for busy accounting periods that you don't want to say, you don't want calling clients or, them ringing you back. But hopefully you can, even your current clients, hopefully they might refer you to other people during this time if you're sending them out emails. It just keeps you front of mind. So they give you options to set how they work by triggers. You can delay things or if-else logic to help send appropriate emails to your readers. They can be based on what email they opened, what they clicked, or what actions they take. And you can even set triggers from landing pages, which I'll show you in a little bit, to add them to a journey. So if I give you a non-accounting example, because you might have actually had this used on yourself. So think of a retail shop. You've bought things online. You only like the colour green and you keep buying things in green. And all of a sudden you get more emails recommending products to you that are in green. That's great because that's what you like. Well, that's because they're learning from your behaviours and they're then channeling you down an if-else logic and sending you more emails about the things you like. So remember that and think how you could be using that within your business. Then we've also got feedback surveys. So for instance, here I've just said, what would you like to know more about? Provisional tax, fringe benefit, withholding tax. Often it's just a matter of asking your clients because things you know inside out and think really, really simple, I can put money on it your clients don't particularly know. So ask, and sometimes just maybe regurgitate those questions from what people have asked you. But once you've done this, you can then tag them. And again, you can automate a newsletter or you can just leave it tagged and you can segment from there. So I mentioned landing pages before. These really are the start of a sales funnel and they can be used for a whole load of things. So you can use multiple landing pages to add a tag every time somebody fills it in. So the tag can be changed each time. So think of it as promotions. You're not a shop, but you might be wanting to run a seminar or you might be wanting to run a webinar. What you need to do for the end of tax year prep. You might want to how to start a business event in your community. You might be running a podcast and want to know what subjects they're interested in or get them to sign up so that they can attend. But whatever you do on there, the tags lead to automation or give you the chance to be automated. So think of it like that. It just saves you a lot of time. So I said I'd help you with writer's block. So well, most of the time people say, I don't know what to write. I don't know I've got nothing to send. Everybody's got something to send. We all run businesses. We all repeat things regularly to clients, and we definitely have things to send. So to make your life easier, I'm going to give you a year's worth of ideas to get you started. You don't maybe need to remember them all now. You can download that from my website at outbox.co.nz/accountants, or flick me an email or use that QR code to download that now, fill it in, and you'll get sent a PDF with all those ideas. So you can tailor those ideas to suit your business, your location, your country tax laws, and your calendar. They're purely ideas to get you going and stop that writer's block. So just one note here, if you want to have a higher success of emails reaching inboxes, you do need to have a business domain email. So not a free Gmail or Hotmail or Extra. You can send from those, but you won't have as good a result because you don't own Gmail. You can't authenticate it. You do, however, own your own business email address. So what sort of ideas am I giving you in here? So what I want you to do is these subject or ideas to give you content is not a copy and paste idea. So go back to that circular marketing for your business. What tone do you want to use? Are you friendly? Are you serious? Do you want a touch of humor? What do you want to promote? What case studies do you have? What makes you stand out from the crowd? So the use of AI here can be really helpful. And I'm not just talking about generating the text. I love to dictate to Otter so that if you can think of lots of things, dictate, it'll type it all up for you. By all means, use ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, but do look at what that's giving you, change it to your voice, maybe then edit it in Grammarly, but make it your voice and make it unique to your business. So best idea I think you can come up with is add a blog to your website and then repurpose that content in an email. So I've given you in the PDF whole 12 months worth. So for instance, you could have a get ready for tax season, and then within that you can put common tax deductions and credits, import tax deadlines. You've got business tax tips on another month. You've got tax day and beyond. And then you've got all the strange things like what can you claim for in your business that you didn't realize you could. So definitely get that download. That gets you thinking, and maybe even get your staff together and ask what do people get asked us all the time that we could be sending out. So with what I've given you, there's 3 ways really that you can attack this. So automations need careful consideration. So planning prevents poor performance. So if I give an example, if you don't think about these enough and you set up lots of automations, you could end up sending Flossie 3 emails in a day. So you need to plan how you're going to execute this. So for this particular example I've given you where you've got a year's worth of content, you've really got 3 options. So the first one is keep it generic. So everything in there is generic, it's not time-based, and you're going to allow users to join at any time of the year. So as soon as they join your list, they go in at the top of the flow. It's a lot of less long-term time work, but beware of what send days. You need to be a little bit more careful, and dates and things in there. It's really onboarding and it's retention. Or you can keep it to one upload of your email list. So here I'm thinking pure retention. So at the end of tax time, whenever that is for you, upload your current clients on a specific date, put them at the beginning of that flow, and let the whole thing go for a year. So then you could time those dates and things throughout the year. You can't really reuse it though, and you're not going to be putting people in as they become a new client in 3 months' time because they'll be out of flow of the whole thing. Or just set yourself up one very simple welcome, nice to have you here, you've joined our list, and then use the rest of those ideas to be sending, say, a monthly newsletter. So it allows you to really do that in real time. It's onboarding, it's retention. The only thing is with that, new people that join won't see your previous ones because you've already sent out those newsletters. But they can appear to be a little more labor intensive, but you could schedule and plan these during a quieter time, or maybe add somebody, maybe one of your admin staff would be happy to be doing that for you. So when I reference Q1, Q2 and things in the PDF, they really are suggestions. You decide what works for your business, and that's the key. Not every accounting business here is going to be working in the same way, so it's impossible to write a one-size-fits-all. but hopefully I've given you enough ideas to get going. So the good news is, if you do have an automation, you can pause, edit, and restart an email within there. So remember to update your emails if you've set an automation, it's been running for a year or so, when you've got things like tax changes or new laws. Again, maybe give that to a staff member and get them to diarise when there's budget dates and changes are likely to happen so that you just don't get caught out. So how to connect your current software for your accounting with Mailchimp. So obviously QuickBooks is owned by Intuit Mailchimp. But basically I've given you a screenshot here of where you would go within Mailchimp. So you go to integrations. You can then either use the search bar at the top, or you can go to the right-hand side where it says more and select your industry, and then it will bring up all the integrations that are relevant for you. And then what you would do is just select the one that you want and basically follow the prompts. So the quickest way to do this is I would go to my computer, I would log in to my accounting software, I would log into my Mailchimp account, which I'd opened, I would go to Mailchimp, and then I would try and go to connect the two. It will then just give you prompts depending on what you're connecting to, and it will just connect the two of them. Now, it will bring in, you need to decide things like your company address, your logo, who you want to connect from this. Now, the reason I say this is I like to also keep things simple. Again, it depends on your setup. So if you've got, for instance, a whole load of suppliers in your accounting software and they've got email addresses, it will also bring those in. So if you didn't want those, you might want to use something called Zapier, where you can set up another step. And you could maybe put in steps and say by paid invoice. So it only brings people in that have bought from you. Or you could just keep it really simple, download your CSV from your accounting and upload it. I've just found from experience that there's always more than one way to do things in Mailchimp, which suits one practice may not be the best for another. So that's why there's options there to suit you. But if you want to just connect the software, it's all there for you in integration. So then if you have set up Mailchimp or you haven't yet, you're then going to get a choice of plans to use. Now, there is obviously a free one. You can only have 250 names on that, but it won't also won't allow you the full functionality. So there's a few plus pricing plans. You may even be on an old legacy one. They all differ slightly. So depending on what your aims are, the size of your audience and the budget, you may want to consider the standard plan. So why try standard? Standard is recommended for businesses that want to grow faster. And my top reasons for using it, the things I've been showing you, is it allows you up to 200 flows in the customer journey building. So it gives you more flexibility and helps you planning from the start. So even if you're not using that straight away, if you're planning flows that you want to put in over the next year or even 3 years, it's sometimes better to actually have the setup correct to begin with. And I know that because I have to correct people's where they've got far too complicated. Dynamic content settings. So in an email, you can actually turn on and off areas for certain people to view. You've got multiple starting points on automations, which can be really helpful. So they could be just signing up to your list, or they could also be coming in through a landing page or when you've tagged them with something specific. Just gives you a lot more options. You also get branching points on automations. So rather than just a straight line send of they got one email, they wait a week, they get another one, it gives you more options. You can also deliver by time zone. So if you've got international clients, you may want to structure that so it sends at the best time for them. And even if you say you're in Auckland, Perth, 4 hours behind. So time zoning can be really useful for us if you're dealing with people abroad. It also gives you A/B testing, which you can get on Essentials, but you do really need a list of about 5,000 people before you can start using that. So you can downgrade to Essentials or the free plan. You don't do that once. So, but just have a look, have a think. What are we really going to want to use it for? And sometimes it's better to go for the one that's going to be right for you from the start. So what's next? When you've done all this, you've had a go at landing pages, you've had to try all sorts of things. There's so many more things that you can go in and play with. The generative AI there's loads of things in there to do and play around with. And once you start and you try, I think it just always gives you more ideas of what you can build on from there. There's pop-up and sign-up forms for your website. Now, years ago, I used to dislike pop-up forms because they used to annoy me, but the sign-up from those pop-up forms is huge. It's really worth having on your website. I tend to delay mine for a few seconds, but you can do what you like. You've got settings in there. Get starting with using segmentation. You can really refine your audience list and send out to people that suits them and suiting their needs and answering their queries. You've got emoji use, which I know some people go, oh no, not emojis, but it really does help people look at your email in their inbox, and sometimes just gives them a bit of a smile and more likely to open it for you. You can share things on social media. You've got reports, you've got analytics you can look into. You've got SMS, which is texting in some countries. I know Oz is working really, really well. NZ is definitely working. There are a little bit more you need to look into. It's not like a quick click and go. But again, that's really for larger companies. And don't forget to start growing your subscriber audience as soon as possible, because you don't just want your clients in there. You want to get new clients. So how we do that? Well, I've got another download for you here, QR code, or if you go to my website, you'll actually see a pop-up there. So this is giving you 12 ideas of how to build your mailing list the right way, i.e. don't go to networking, grab everybody's business cards and just put their email addresses in, because that's not going to work. So encourage them to sign up, maybe give them a free PDF, 10 top tips, something that you give them that's just very simple that you answer all the time, and that would be useful for somebody to download. So again, QR code there, pop-up form on my website, or a link on my footer to get that. You'd be amazed how many ways there are to grow that list. It's not just a matter of having somebody as a client. There's lots of other ways, from your email signatures to your website to your Linktree links. And just ask people, would you like me to add you? Or I'll send you the link to your sign-up form. So that's me coming to the end of that. Thanks for joining Elias and myself. Please connect with me, and I'll have hope inspired you to have a go at email and have a go with Mailchimp. I'm always happy to answer your questions. Connect with me on any of those platforms. They're all on my website as well, so I hope to see you there. And then if we have any questions, there's a copy of the gift again there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can see what the questions are. If you do start Mailchimp and you want to connect, I'm always happy to connect as a pro partner. I'm then in the back end of your account. I don't add to your numbers, and I can get answers for you from Mailchimp pretty quickly on most things if I don't know the answer myself, which most of them I do. And we'll go from there. So I'll just stop sharing.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Lindsay. We don't have any questions coming through. I'm going to leave it open for another minute or two. We did have some questions earlier on and before the session, which we might dive into now. So, Lindsay, what do you recommend for businesses who might have run some sort of email marketing in the past, whether it's recent or within the last 12 months or so? Where is the best place for folks to start if they've got some sort of existing database that they've used? Where do they pick it up from?
They could pick it up from quite a few places. So if they're on Mailchimp, then it's a matter of re-engaging with those clients. And I would suggest, if you've got a large list, doing it in smaller blocks so that you're gradually onboarding people in small chunks. Again, that goes back to the email reputation. If you're on another platform, or you've got a CRM, which is the most popular one, you can export from those platforms. So export as a CSV or Excel, whatever you're happy in, and then we can get that into Mailchimp as a CSV, or we can even copy and paste emails in. That you need to have got permission from them. But as you say, if you've already been using it and you've all been in contact with them, we can get those into Mailchimp quite easily, quite quickly.
Yeah, awesome. And I think you touched on it as well, that the number of integrations back into Mailchimp is pretty vast. I think there's over 300 integrations off the shelf now that you can use, especially with QuickBooks. So it's a great place to start by connecting all of those technologies together and start pulling all of that data into the same place and starting from there.
Yeah. And you can put your AI clients in there now and all sorts of things. So it really is a matter of getting in there and playing and seeing what you can do. Testing. I always
Yeah.
tend to say test things first as well. And also with the integration, really read what it's integrating for you. Um,
Mm.
yeah, because they differ, don't they? I mean, there's 300 out there and they've all been written by different firms. So but go and explore, go and look at that integrations page and see. And I bet there'll be loads of things that you already use, whether it's, I don't know, ClickUp, A0. There's loads of things in there. Go and have a play.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And good shout with the AI piece. I don't think it'd be a webinar in 2026 if we didn't mention AI. There's the native AI in Mailchimp is getting stronger and stronger as we go by, and some of the tooling already available in the platform is pretty impactful for those, especially for those smaller teams that probably don't
Mm,
have a dedicated resource for marketing yet. The other avenue that I have really enjoyed diving into is that integration with Claude and OpenAI now. I think they're incredibly powerful when you connect them up to your Mailchimp accounts. Um, you can start to create agents to manage your campaigns, and you can push campaigns live directly from
mm,
those integrations, which is pretty cool. And I think once a business is working with a partner like Outlook, and you've got
mm,
that layer of AI as well, it becomes a really strong use case for how people can start to drive impact from their email marketing as
mm.
well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think just go in and have a play. I mean, it's not going anywhere, it's not going away. So embrace it and use it to your advantage. Just don't plug in and just let it all, you do need to be in there and have a little look around and see what's going out.
Yeah,
That's where my
yeah.
brand voice comes in, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned before as well. Like I think if people are curious, it costs nothing to spin up a Mailchimp account and have a poke around in there just to get
Mm,
your senses and get your bearings on what the platform looks like. We like to think it's incredibly simplified and easy to use platform. So
mm,
it costs nothing to start a free trial, and then once you're a little bit more serious about importing customer lists and starting to build campaigns, that's where the likes of
mm,
Outlook can support with the migration into the platform. So yeah, and I think combining that with your existing kind of frameworks that you've shared with us on the PDFs, I think is a really great way to get started.
mm. And just start. It's like anything, don't overthink it. Even if it's just open an account at Mailchimp.com, play
Yeah,
around. And even if you use one of the Mailchimp, templates and it's not quite your branding, just do one, have a go, send it out and see what reaction you get. I think people would be quite shocked at how many sales they can get or how many contacts they'll get straight away and people replying.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely worth having a go. Or even, I mean, I've even known people just set up their own friends and send it to them and see how it goes. It's
yeah.
if you're because often people are scared to push that button, like that whole send button. But just do it. Have a play, have a try, and get started.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, we might leave it there for today. But
Yeah.
thanks everyone, and thanks for joining. And apologies for the late start once again. And thanks again, Lindsay, for sharing all of those materials and helpful tidbits.
Right. Thanks very much for helping out. That's good. I'm going to leave the webinar then. But if there's anybody else yet, just send me emails. Contact with me at the website. I think yeah. If there's no more questions, I think we're probably done. Thank you very much, everybody coming, and
Thanks
hoping to help.
everyone.